What's up, y'all? I'm gonna see if I can remaster this song called "Sing Sing Birds on the Wing." I got this from the Library of Congress. You can see it here. You know, the information about it, the record date, and all of the other good information you can find about this thing. So I'm gonna play a little bit of the original here.
There is rapture ringing in the dark, sweet serenade.
So back in RX, I was trying to figure out which way to approach this thing because I want to start with a clean slate to kind of get to a point where I can export this out and start really tinkering with it. So the main tools I was using was this module, the spectral denoise tool, and the music rebalance tool. So because this only has a string section and a voice, I figured I can kind of split this into the stems and kind of work from that. So what I did was take this audio, I ran it through music rebalance. I pretty much left the settings as they were, and I chose the best quality, and doing the offline rendering there, I hit the the stem split, and that brings us over here, which allows us to listen to these individual parts independently and manipulate them independently, which is a fantastic update. I'm so happy that they did this because it gives me so much more flexibility and freedom. Fortunately, this worked in my favor. It actually kind of isolated the noise. It put it in the drum section. I mean, it's not a drum, but you get the gist of it here. So I'm gonna undo this initially so you can kind of hear what this sounded like. There's only a few parts, but there's some string section in there I kind of wanted to maintain. So because this is isolated in its own individual stems and you can process them independently, I selected the noise from the beginning, which gave me a pretty clean sample, and using the spectral denoise, I just ran that only on what they interpreted as drums. So it doesn't affect any of the other layers here, only the one I have selected. So that gave me just two little bits. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but it can contribute to the overall recording. And because this is such a small little piece, it can be tucked away in the mix if I don't really like it at the end there. But with that, it gave me pretty clean strings. It interpreted some of the lower frequencies as a bass, but this isn't a bass. There's a little bit of hiss in there, so I might actually reprocess just this section, but I might not have the denoising as strong, so I'll probably dial that back down. So I'm gonna lower this a bit. Let's take a preview of this. Oh, that's such a cool tool. So I mean, I lowered the reduction just a bit there. I didn't want it to cause more damage than good. And then I can probably just mute in the very end. So I wanted to see how it can actually bring some of that low end back to the original voice, which again was something that you were never able to do. And it's kind of hard to grasp how crazy this is because people are able to, they're growing up with these tools at hand, but this was all fantasy back in the day. But now I have this vinyl record. I split separated the voice cleanly, so I'm gonna run this to see if it can bring back some low end artificially, and it'll probably bring some top end, which we can EQ out at the end. So I'm gonna select this all the voice, and then I'm gonna hit render. This might take a minute, but then it will give me a good range to work with. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. I did want to briefly mention that you could clean it up using other tools like Cedar Audio. I played around with this prior to running it through Isotope first, so I'll play a snippet of this. because it's a vinyl, I anticipated crackle, but there's not a lot actually. There is some hiss. But the sound of your dear voice falling is then I run an EQ using Pro Q. Then a little bit of, you could run, if you didn't want to do that, you could just run X noise from waves, which sometimes does a great job. I heard the nightingale sing, dove calling, and the blackbird's melody, but the sound of your dear voice falls. So it added a bit more of the low end. However, it does need a little bit of post-processing with the EQ. The Pro Q4. There is rapture ringing in the lark's sweet serenade. I can hear the wood dove calling and the blackbird's melody, but the sound of your dear voice falling is like sweetest song to me. Okay, so we're gonna blend both of these vocals together here. So this is without it, and this is with it. So it sounds a little bit more full in the mid-range. But mine is a so I can kind of get rid of some of this other section here. Now focusing on the strings. It's going with a little bit of EQ. See if we can give this thing some new life. There's really no low end here. I might be able to add a chorus to this. So kind of broaden the image a little bit there. That's just the built-in one using Adobe Audition. I'm done on my handy-dandy reverbs. These don't sound bad, but not as bright as I want them to be. Not bad, but a bit too much, so let's dial that back to around 30%. Turn that off. Let's get the dry version of it. It does sound good. It's a lot more full and wide, but it's missing that mid-range. But mine is a song of love. I think we're gonna get rid of this because it's bringing that hiss back into it. So I'm reintroducing some reverb just to kind of blend it all together. And I think we're almost done here.
Hear the wood dove calling and the blackbird's melody. But mine is a song of love.
I'm gonna add this maximizer at the end. It's just using it to cap it off.
But mine is a song of love. Sing, sing, birds on the wing, birds in the tree above.
I think we're almost done.
I heard the nightingale singing last night in the moonlit glade. Today there is rapture ringing in the dark sweet serenade. I can hear the wood dove calling and the blackbird's melody. Sing, sing, birds on the wing, birds in the tree above.
Okay, so let's take a listen to the original track here.
I heard the nightingale singing last night in the moonlit.
Again, pretty good starting point, but we wanted to improve it a little bit.
I heard the nightingale singing last night in the moonlit glade. Sing to the sound of your dear voice falling, sound of your dear voice falling, is like sweet song to me. Like sweet song to me. Sing, sing, birds on the wing. Sing, birds on the wing.
Yeah, so this is definitely brighter, a lot wider, a little bit more dreamy with the added chorus effects and reverbs. Anyway, hopefully you found this entertaining and somewhat educational. Alright, you guys, I will talk to you later. Peace.